I'm going to mostly focus on Mars tonight, not just the rovers, but a couple of the orbiters, and then we'll end up with a space station story. But just a quick update on Opportunity. Still roving, still behaving itself, and it's now Martian day 4,890 since it landed in January of 2004. So let's get the lay of the land here. Opportunity landed up here, spent most of its mission wandering across this plane, and now for about the last almost 3 years, it's been on the rim of this large impact crater, about a 20-kilometer diameter crater called Endeavour. And it's been moving along this rim, and right now it's sitting about right here. So we'll zoom in. This is the rim of the crater. You can maybe see a little yellow line there. Their target is down here, and there's a gully or potentially a dry riverbed that they believe flowed into the crater, and there's lots of evidence for clay minerals along the edge of this valley, and clay implies that the rocks were exposed to liquid water, and since that's of great interest, that's where they've been heading. And so here's that gully. Here's the path. It sort of did these multiple zigzags around. It drove partway into the gully, and then they turned around and came back up here. And so right now they're sitting where that yellow plus sign is. It's winter time in the southern hemisphere, so the sun is low in the northern sky, and so they're perched on a north-facing slope to enhance the output from their solar panels. But they're still wandering around a little bit. When they store up enough energy to drive for a day, they move maybe 10 or 20 meters at a time, and then sit for typically a couple weeks and observe that area. And so here's a view from just a couple days ago. This is looking at down into the valley or the gully, and so here was that the farthest they got, and then here's where they turned around and scurried back up the slope slightly. And this is looking at, here's the gully, and there's the northern rim of the gully, but that would be south-facing slopes, so they can't go there until next spring. But this is the general area that they've been exploring. And for about the last 2 weeks, they've been assembling a photo mosaic of this area, where they take a series of images sweeping back and forth, and then with their limited power supply, they transmit those back to the Earth. And I think by the next 60 minutes, we should be able to show you the results of that. So that is another part of that gully. So this is the recap for Opportunity. Day 4,890. It was designed for 90 days, so it's done a remarkable job. It's driven a little over 45 kilometers now and returned almost 223,000 images. And where they are right now, the dust is slowly collecting on their solar panels. They're getting about 1/3 of the amount of power coming out of the solar panels as they would with clean panels. But they've got enough to keep going. It would have to get down to about 20% of full power before they'd start getting into trouble. And so for the time being, they're safe. The first day of winter has already happened in this location, so the sun should slowly be getting higher in the sky as the year progresses. So for about the next 2 months or perhaps 3 months, they're going to be staying put in this area, and then they should become more active.